Okay, morning folks. Welcome to the briefing on Friday the 20th. If anybody caught the BBC forecast this morning, you'll have seen them talk about the high pressure here that's slowly slipping away, and then we've got these next sort of frontal systems slowly crawling over us for the next 24 to 36 hours. But after that, there's a high pressure building over the Atlantic, and that's going to stabilize itself around us for the next 4 or 5 days. So a little bit of pain and suffering over the next 24 hours with those fronts, but after that looks fairly reasonable. Now today this high pressure is still clinging on, it's keeping these fronts at bay, and actually it's weakening them as well. It's not a particularly strong high pressure, 1018, and the isobars are fairly well spaced out, certainly over us. The wind's going to be pretty light, but it's drawing in air from a southerly southwesterly direction, so it's quite warm air. It's fairly dry, but not a fantastic soaring direction, but we should get something out of today. The TAFs are a bit short and sweet, really. 240 degrees, 6 knots, yeah, light southwesterly. I'll talk about setup later, but it's not going to be a factor in the wind and deciding where we're going to go. 10k vis, well, I think that's here already, and scattered at 2.5. This upper stuff I would probably say is somewhere between 2 and 2.5 we got at the moment. The broken 1200 feet between sort of 7 and 9 o'clock, I think's gone now. Things are improving, but they don't really go beyond that, to be honest. Gatwick are saying, I think it was scattered at 3,000 feet, so a little bit higher. The upper winds, again, 230, 240, maximum 10 knots I can find on different models, but picking up very late afternoon, evening time. As you can see from the west, this front starts to make its way in. The winds get a little bit stronger, 20 knots at flying heights in the southwest of the country. SatPic shows just all this cloud trapped under quite a strong inversion. You'll see that in a minute. Just sitting over us here, slowly drifting across and filling in some of these gaps. And I think that's going to be the case today. Gaps coming and going, soaring where the sun gets to the ground, and some spread out as well. Looking at the inversions that are loitering at about 3,000 to 4,000 feet. It'll slowly warm up. Temperature today, 21 degrees, probably 22 maybe. I think it's about 16 at the moment. And dew points, they're around 14s, 15s in places. Might go down a little bit, but not much today. So I think you've got a temperature split of probably about 8 to 9 degrees, which indicates cloud base 3,500 feet at best, I think. And the soundings are suggesting the same sort of thing. This is the afternoon sounding here. Playing with the temperatures, best you can really get is probably about 3,000 feet above Lasham, with a noticeable inversion here, which I think is going to trap cloud and certainly cause spread out in places. And then looking further north, the Bicester Buckingham area, similar picture up till about early afternoon, 3,000 feet, and then mid to late afternoon, more signs of the lines coming together, spread out, and moister air between the sort of 3,000 and 5,000 foot mark. So not looking quite so good further north. Later in the afternoon, definite signs of spread out. The actual Lark Hill shows that inversion. This is 6 o'clock this morning. Really quite a strong inversion at about 900 to 1200 meters all the way in through here. So that's going to trap the cloud in there, hence give us the spread out, which will come and go during the day. Different models show different amounts of spread out, but I think it will be there. No two ways about it. Good air under here, really. So yeah, when the sun does get to the ground, it will be quite soarable. And top meteo, I think, are erring on the side of optimism. Cloud amounts, this stuff burning off fairly quickly, and they're showing both cumulus here and spread out to the west. And I think that could be anywhere, folks. So you could have 3 to 4/8 cumulus, or you could have 7/8 spread out in places. That will come and go during the day. You move that on to sort of 3 o'clock in the afternoon, again spread out to the west of us and cumulus over us here. We'll see how that model works. I suspect we're going to see a little bit more spread out than they're suggesting there over us, but where it breaks should be quite nice. Thermal tops, again, they're suggesting the same sort of thing, soarable by 1 o'clock, and 1,000 meters, 3,000 feet, but not really going much above 11 to 1,200 meters. So somewhere between 3,500 feet at best. Same sort of picture up towards Oxford. Bit better out in East Anglia, sort of far East Anglia beyond Cambridge. And I haven't looked at the predicted descents out that way, but I would suspect with the southwesterly wind, it's always slightly drier further out there. The air's had a chance to dry out a little bit. And that's the suggested distance for today, folks. Looking ahead, comp starts tomorrow. Not a great start predicted for tomorrow. The frontal systems, various models showing maybe out to the west of us for a good part of the day, and other models showing right over us for quite a bit of tomorrow. But as we go into Sunday and then Monday, getting better, we're starting to draw in this high pressure and easterly winds as well. So looking better for next week, that's for sure. Okay, airspace wise, this particular map doesn't appear to have changed in the last week or so. So I'll just run through some of the areas here. Number 10 is Southampton's hours of operation. Nothing that affects us, just slightly extended hours, depending on what movements they've got. 16, 17 and 19, so that's high intensity radio transmissions till about 2 o'clock this afternoon from Boscombe down, contained within the ATZ. 17, a equestrian event. 19 is just the fact that there is no danger area crossing service at the moment. 22 and 26 are paragliding notification, and they're sort of pop up all over the place out over 31 and 34, so there's lots of them. Number 30 is an interesting one. It's parachuting at Marsh Gibbon. I don't know if you remember last year, we had that for about 6 weeks. Some form of filming, apparently. Well, it seems to be back again. Parachuting the radius of Marsh Gibbon, which is just east of Bicester. And it's just on a general air sports frequency, the notification. And it's from today at 8 o'clock in the morning till Sunday at 8 o'clock at night, and surface to 5,400 feet. So do a little bit more inquiring to see what that's about. And really that's about it in terms of NOTAMs, folks. If you want to go and check the NOTAMs yourself, there are plenty of other websites you can use, or these will be pinned on the notice board. I printed off a copy of these, but in this area here, it's fairly quiet. Okay, operationally, I think the wind's fairly light. We're going to try starting off on runway 27 with the winch offset to the south and see how that goes. Hopefully it won't pick up enough to force us onto 23. Enough interest, we'll have a grid on the north side. See how busy it actually is. If it's just a trickle of people, then just come out to the runway. And we'll deal with you. There are no jet movements forecast today, and obviously with the comp on, any jet movements will be fit in and around early in the morning or late evening to slot around the comps. And that's about it. So let's start emptying the hangar, folks. Should be a reasonable day for flying, and I will see you out there.